All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of the Addictively Speaking podcast. I'm your host, James, and tonight I have Sam, and I've met Sam through the wonderful world of TikTok. Um, I've seen him on TikTok, and we're all part of this recovery community, and like people are always sharing their recovery stuff. And I got in touch. Sam got in touch with me about coming on the podcast. So, Sam, welcome to the podcast, and yeah, tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Yeah, so my name's Sam and I'm an addict, recovering addict, shall I say, but I am always will be an addict. So a bit about me, started using when I was probably early teens, just socially with mates, hanging about, doing what boys do, in and out of trouble all the time. And, my using was good at the very beginning. Well, I say it was good. It wasn't destructive. It was just a social thing. Just probably alcohol, then a bit of
Yeah,
cannabis here and there.
I was gonna say, what were you using when you started? Like, what were the? So it was alcohol and then some weed,
Yeah,
maybe.
some cannabis, and that was it. And but it was mostly kind of alcohol parties, um, and yeah, so it that was great. And all through kind of my teenage years, I was playing football. I got to a very high standard of football, and I was playing literally. I was training 3 or 4 times a week, playing sometimes twice a week, and I hit the age of 18, and I snapped my cruciate ligament in my knee, and yeah, it can like broke me. I didn't know nothing else, and I didn't know how to do life. Like I dropped out of school because football was my main focus, and yeah, it was just I didn't know how to do life and deal with life on life terms. So I
Mm.
really kind of struggled with that, and so I started kind of hitting the drink a bit harder, and I was just searching for something to fill that void. My mental health went completely downhill, and I was constantly chasing something. If I couldn't have one thing, I wanted another. And I then started kind of found cocaine, very kind of again social thing. I was just dabbling in and out, maybe every other weekend or every weekend when I went out, just the one. And then I went for a very traumatic um, situation when I was 21. I was falsely accused of something I didn't do, and it completely broke me. And not only did it affect me, it affected my family. So then that affected my relationship with my family, because I kind of I took all the blame, even though I'd done nothing wrong, and it was so hard, and I just didn't know where to turn. And so then I started kind of hitting the cocaine even more, and I kind of found it, and I was like, yeah, this is it. I've cracked it. If I take cocaine, I can smash life. And that was how, it just filled and made me whole again. And yeah, it was so hard. I just hated life, and I didn't want to be here anymore. But just taking that cocaine just kind of took the edge off it, and made me. I got through life with it, and after 6, 7 years of absolutely smashing the hell of it out of it, I was functional. I still went to work, still went about my daily life, but just using cocaine all the time. And back end of 2022, I lost everything, burnt all my bridges, my family. I was your lying, cheating, thieving, stealing addict. I went to any lengths to get the drugs in the end of my using. It didn't
Mm.
matter who you were. Like I've done some awful things, and one of the most awful things is when I say I go to any lengths, I see an old couple sitting in their front room window, and I was driving past, I stopped the car, and I went in, kicked their door in, went in, asked for their wallet and their purse, and But that was desperation, because I could not live life without cocaine, and I went to any lengths to get it. So then what I do now, I go to any lengths for my recovery. So if there's only a meeting and it's an hour away, I will drive to that meeting if I need it. I still have to treat my recovery exactly the same as I used to treat active addiction. So yeah, in the back end of my using, I lost everything, like I said. Burnt all bridges with my family, lost all my friends, lost my partner. I lost my job, lost my license, and lost my home. And I ended up I was on the streets. No one wanted me because I was just constantly using drugs. I was a danger, and I was in and out of, like, I've been in prison, constantly being nicked for just stupid stuff. And it got to a point, and I was just like, can I do this? Like, do I want it anymore? And my parents, like, final straw was they tried kind of edging me into meetings. And I was going there and I was still using, like, going into the meeting, coming out halfway through using, meeting my dealer outside. Like, and I was just like, oh, this is what I like. It's just a load of rubbish. Like, I'm not interested. And it just got worse and worse. And I was had a warrant out for my arrest, and I was running away from the police, and I was just like, I just thought I was untouchable. No one could touch me, and I could do what I wanted. And yeah, it just didn't end well. I ended up back inside, and I was like, right, enough's enough. And like, I got offered a job, and I was like, right, if I can get a job, I can now fund my addiction, and then I can stop nicking off other people. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Right, perfect. Not thinking I'm on the streets. I don't have a roof over my head. I can't even put food in front of me. Not that I want it anyway. And then someone said to me, right, it's either a house or a job. What do you want? And I was like, it's a job, like, set in stone. And I was in no fit state to even get work. Like, I was skin and bone. I don't even have a roof over my head. So my hygiene was completely out the window. And so yeah, after a bit of kind of professional help, should I say, they managed to steer me into a recovery house, and that's what I done. And recovery was great at first. I was absolutely buzzing because I couldn't stop using for about an hour, like half hour, and to get a day clean, that was just like an absolute miracle. And I was absolutely loving recovery in my early days. And I was in a house where using you couldn't use basically inside the house, but you could use outside as long as you didn't come back too bad. So for me, I wasn't using. So when people used to come in, I'll be like, oh, look at the state of you. And it was good to see. It was good to see, because I'd be like, that's what I used to be like. But on a Friday, staff used to go home for the weekend, and they used to just, like, it was basically door shuts at 5:30. That's it, party time. Like, everyone's drinking in the house, everyone's using, and I started to isolate myself because I didn't want to use, but I was like, it was getting to the point where I was like, I'm isolating, and I'm just sitting in my own head. And that's very dangerous territory for me, because I can't sit with my own feelings. Even now, I still struggle. And but yeah, I kind of stuck with it, and I stuck with it. And one day I just thought, I hit that fuck it button, and that was me out the door. And I lost that house. Like, I got kicked out for using in the house. I was drinking in the camera, dancing around the conservatory, like, off my nut. And I was just like, how have I ended up back in again?
But wait, did any of the other people in the house get kicked out? Because they seem to be the ones that were starting it to begin with, and you kind of just.
Well, because I was blatantly obvious, because I was doing it in front of a camera.
So they just kind of did it.
Yeah, No, yeah, but there was one lad, he was dealing in there, and they found baggies in his room, grinders, but there was no evidence of weed, so they couldn't kick him out because there was no evidence of drugs. Like, but he's got paraphernalia, so yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
that's
corrupt,
strange.
basically.
That seems a
Yeah,
bit funny.
and even my key worker at the time, she was like, "You've been outdone here. Like, you've upset someone, and they don't like you, so it's just an easy way for them to get you out." And I was like, "Do you know, it is what it is," and I think I needed it because I wasn't taking recovery seriously. I just thought it was a lot easier than it was, and I am grateful for that relapse. And the next day, I went to a Narcotics Anonymous convention, which was in our local area. And
Hmm.
my key worker was saying, she was like, "Right, get yourself there." And I was like, "I can't get back. I can't go there." Like, I was still off my nut. And I'm so grateful because I'm still clean to this day. And that's I think 280 days today. So just over 9 months. And for someone that over a year ago was street homeless, had nothing, no family, no friends, no home, no partner, spin it around a year, I've now got a lovely partner who's also in recovery. Got all my family back in my life. I've got a roof over my head. I'm going on a holiday in June. You know, I've got all these wonderful things, but I tell you what, it hasn't been easy. You know, I've had to put in a lot of hard work, and
Yeah.
I've had to not only stop. It's not just about stopping the drugs. I've had to change my attitude. I've had to change my thinking. I've had to change my behaviour because I can stop taking drugs and I can still be an absolute arsehole. You know, so I've had
Yeah.
to kind of take a real good look at myself and put in the work where required. And but yeah, recovery is. I wish I'd found it years ago because my life is an absolute dream, and I can't like if anyone's struggling out there and wants recovery, like I'd recommend it to anyone. Even I'd recommend it to people that aren't even addicts. You know, like because gives me a whole new way of life. So yeah, that's a bit
Yeah.
about me, really.
There we go. All right. So I want to just touch back on some of the things that you
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about.
cool.
So you tore your ACL, right?
Mhm.
And you never thought like you never tried to like rehab it or fix it. You just thought that was it. You were done
I was told
with
I'd never
sport.
play again. I was told
Really?
by yeah, even and still now. I went out for a 2 mile run this morning. And I still get like running. It's just
Yeah.
never repaired fully, and it's still quite weak.
Yeah.
And I've tried doing
Yeah. I just
rehab.
thought, I mean, maybe, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, athletes come back from torn ACLs, MCLs, the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing.
they do. But I was just literally, I was just that was it. But I've tried all the physio, and I've still have physio now, and it was never
Yeah.
be 100%. Um,
Yeah.
and I think
Unless you
it's
have
more
you have to
mind.
have surgery though, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. So I had 6 hours surgery to have that done.
Mm.
They messed it up the first time. That probably didn't help.
I was gonna say
um,
that's probably, yeah, it's probably not a good sign.
no,
Uh,
well, it's it is. I look back now, and is what it is. Powerless over it, and I can't change it. If I had it
yeah,
my way, I would have carried on playing football. But you know, and life's it's what God had planned for me. So
true. Um, Also, like when you first started doing cocaine, because in the
mhm,
UK, the UK is huge for cocaine, and it
yeah,
to me, from what I've heard from the stories of other people that I've interviewed, is that it's just very casual. It's very recreational.
you
It's
know,
out on every club.
you
It's
can
kind of
get
like it's like
cocaine.
it's yeah, it's like a drink. It's like having a drink. It's like having a beer. Like
Yeah,
it's
you can
readily
get
available.
cocaine. You can get cocaine quicker than you get a doctor's appointment over here.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
Uh,
it is so true. And it's but it is. You go even now. You go into places, and it's just
Yeah,
like I see someone on TikTok the other day, and they go around doing filming toilets that are good for cocaine use. Like,
really.
what on earth? Yeah. And I saw it on a,
Okay.
it was on a, I didn't believe it at first. I saw it on a series, and this girl goes around and she's like an influencer of best toilets in London to use cocaine. And I'm like, wow, what is this world coming to?
Wow. Okay. I
Yeah,
mean, it is.
but
Yeah, it is quite. It's quite the popular drug over here. It's like the drug of choice. And I know, I've talked to loads of people about it, and it seems like it's very innocent. It comes off very innocent, like when it starts. Like you were just out with the lads, like going out to the clubs, probably just, having a
yeah,
bump here or there. So did you ever realize, like, did you have a moment where you saw it turn, where it just you knew that it's not just having a bump with some friends while you're out, like it turned.
yeah. Well, to me, yeah, I knew when, like, and I was using it at
Yeah,
home, and
yeah,
I was like, I was getting it and then doing it before I went out. And then I was like, oh, lads, I'm not coming
alone
out
by
tonight.
yourself.
Yeah, and then I'm not coming out tonight because I'll be too paranoid and too, like, I'll go into like hallucinations and paranoia, and like thinking things were following me. And it just got, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going. And then it wouldn't even, I'd stop going out and I'll just sit at home doing, finish work,
Yeah.
sit in my room, do it, sit up all night, go to work, and do the same again. And it
Did you
happened
when you
very,
were working? Did you use while you were working? Like, what kind of job did you do? What kind of job
I
did
was
you
a
have?
delivery. I was delivering bathrooms. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I was driving. Yeah, I know it's horrific, and
No, I mean it's just
it's addiction. You know.
it's addiction. Yeah. What are you gonna do? I mean, I can't tell you how
Yeah,
many times I drove a car drunk. I mean, I like, and not
yeah,
like drunk, like super drunk. Like
yeah.
should not be
Paralytic.
operating a motor vehicle at all. You shouldn't
No,
even. I probably wasn't even like conscious. Like my mind wasn't there, but like I was
yeah,
driving a car.
definitely.
So yeah,
Hmm.
no, it's hard. It is terrible the things that you do when
That's
you're in that.
like, and that's why, like, what I love about recovery. You know, you can say that to an addict, and they laugh. But you say it to any other normal member of society, and they think you're the worst person on earth. You know, because it's
Yeah,
only
but
addicts only understand addicts. Like,
but I see that as people are full of shit. That's full of shit. People that go, "Oh, I can't believe you drive a car drunk." Fuck off. I guarantee most of those people have driven a
yeah,
car while under the influence, and then they just
yeah,
can't. They
yeah,
just don't want to. They want to be all like, "Oh, holier than thou."
yeah.
Like I never do something like that. You
Yeah,
have.
how dare
You
you?
know you have. But you'll look at somebody else and you'll go, "Oh, can't believe you do that."
Yeah,
No, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I don't believe that for 1 second because just the way the world is, just the way the culture is. I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't think that, but people that do that or say that, I'm sure
exactly.
they've
Yeah, people
operated a
can
motor
see you're
vehicle.
innocent.
Yeah, nobody likes to say, "Oh yeah, I've driven a car really drunk before."
Yeah,
Um, so you got kicked out of this house, and
yeah.
then you relapse basically again. How
Mhm.
much clean time did you have before you relapsed then?
I had just over 90 days.
Okay. So not too long, early into recovery.
Yeah, very early into recovery. Yeah,
Mm,
um, and it was my kind of my first time in recovery as well. And it was like I wanted it, but I didn't want it 100%. You know, it was like a trial run. And I thought, oh, if I relapse, then I'll at least I can say I gave it a go. Like it was just one of them.
yeah.
And if it wasn't for my key worker, I don't know what would have happened after that relapse. If she did tell me to get that convention the next day, um, yeah, I was. It was already like because I'd hit that fuck it button, and As soon as I
Yeah.
took
You
took
were
the
off to the
drug,
races. Yeah.
yeah, I was game on now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful I didn't, and I did get clean again.
So you have what, 9 months now, you said? How
Yeah, I
has
was
the
nine
journey been
months.
on recovery?
You know, it's just gone from strength to strength. But I've had a lot of bad days. But
Mm-hmm.
over the time, it's every day that passes, things do get a little bit easier. Like feelings and emotions is a big one for me. Um, I really still struggle. Well, I don't really struggle with dealing with them. I struggle with identifying what how I'm feeling. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that I get a feeling and I'm like, I don't know if it's anger, I don't know if it's sadness. You know, it's trying to put it kind of categorize it. So I kind of get a feeling and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like how that made me feel. And I try
Mm-hmm.
explaining it to her about it. And it's so difficult because I just struggle with
Yeah.
feelings and being able to identify. And I think that I kind of still get like today, I woke up full of anxiety. Well, I don't even know if it was anxiety, but I just had this feeling that I just did not like. And I was like, right, I need to get out. I need to get out. And I went out on a run. I went and dunked my head in
Yeah.
an ice bath. And I was
Yeah.
like, and I was all right. And I was like, what is that? Like, it's just weird. I still can't get my head, and I don't think I ever will. But I hope I
I
do.
think at some point you will be better to understand it. It's just like one of
Mm,
those things, like, because now you're dealing with all the stuff that you numbed away, that
yeah.
you escaped from. So you're dealing with like everything that life has to throw at you, and then you have to kind of like process. I struggle. I'm 12 years sober, and I still struggle like
Mm,
processing shit. If I have too much stuff going on, I
yeah.
really struggle with dealing with it, all of it.
Definitely.
And then I just shut off. I just get very like the quiet. I don't know what to
Yeah.
do. I have to go out for a run and get my mind going. And so like, yeah,
Mm,
I have to do those kind of things because it helps me to clear my head, to
mm.
be able to process
Yeah,
information, to do it all. But yeah,
yeah.
it is one of those things that you'll constantly
Well,
like, you'll recognize it more the further you get into recovery.
yeah.
You'll recognize these moments where you're like, ah, okay, I'm feeling that.
But
I need to,
the worst forward, you know, like my head's obviously coming into recovery. I haven't got that. Don't have to worry compulsively lying. You know, I'm not having to backtrack all my stories. So my head's a lot quieter now. But I can
yeah.
create situations in my head just to have
Mm,
something to stress. Just because I love chaos. So I create a situation, and I'm like, I get myself sometimes so worked up over it, and then I have to take a step back. I'm like, you're worrying over about something that ain't even there. Like
yeah.
I've just created this thing in my head, just like, but I
Do
suppose it's
you think
going
that's
from
like
chaos.
yeah. Do you think that's like an lasting effect from the cocaine use, maybe? Like,
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
It's I love chaos. I'm getting better at it, but like I like when something's going on, I'm like, right, when say like I had a family event the other week, and I was like, right, mum, you do that, dad, you do that, and my mum's like, Sam, you're not in charge, like just chill out. We're just gonna just go with the flow. I was like, no, this has got to be done. This has got to be done. And she was like, chill out. Just like, I just love a bit of chaos in my life now.
So what let's talk about TikTok. What made you decide to take your recovery journey on a public platform to be very exposed?
Because so the reason for me doing that to going on TikTok was not only to help the newcomer, but to help other recovering addicts, but also more importantly to help myself because I love talking. And you know, also when I first come into well, I never heard of recovery when I was using, and
Mhm.
even in the back end of my using, no one kind of mentioned any recovery. So or kind of any kind of channels that I could go down to maybe get some help with my active addiction. And
Hmm.
that's all I try and do now. I just try and raise awareness, because I know there's people out there that are probably thinking exactly the same thing that I was, that there was no help, and like settled to be a drug addict, because that's what I settled for. I thought, this
Yeah.
is my life now, and you know, how wrong was I? And that's why I do it, because I can only keep what I have by giving it away. And like, I get a lot of people reaching out to me, and I absolutely love helping people. And there's one guy he was only about 3 weeks ago, reached out. He's like, can't stop using, and he's 3 weeks clean now. He thanks me, messages me every morning and thanks me. And that means so much to me, because not
Yeah.
only am I able to recover, he's able to recover too, and he's
Yeah.
going to get what I'm getting, and he's absolutely
Yeah.
loving life. And he said he's seeing his daughter now for the first time, that he hasn't seen in a few years. Now he's clean, like, and they're the like, I think that's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
changes
That's
people's
that's
lives, and that's what I
yeah.
love.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much that we can give back. I have the
Hmm.
same thing with people. I've had a couple people message me about different things, and I have a friend in the states, and he's was worried about his drinking, and he said, what do I do? And I was like, well, it's up to you. You
Yeah.
you have to decide that you want to do it first of all.
Hmm.
Because I can only say that I'll be here to support you, but like
Hmm.
you have to make the steps. And he just messaged me a couple days ago. He's got 7 days. So
God.
7 days sober. And I was like, listen, man, just reach out whenever you need help. I'll be here. Just shoot
Mhm.
me a message. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's what it's about for me as well, is to be able to connect with people to help
Definitely.
somebody else.
Yeah. So
Because
we've set up quite a lot of
yeah.
like WhatsApp groups and things like that as well. So we've got like a male one, we've got a female one, which my partner's in, um,
Mhm.
and just daily check-ins with people. Just
Yeah.
like, and we've got a lot of people in these groups that are very early days, within the first 30 days. So it's like white knuckling it all the time.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
reaching out in the morning, kind of just sending a message out in the afternoon. How's everyone's day going? It's just that engagement, and they're like,
Mhm.
they actually feel, oh, he's actually interested in me, or and
Yeah.
it's so nice to just see, like, and when people are struggling, they find it easy to reach out, because it's all in my like mine. It's all men, so see one person struggling, then it might encourage another couple of others to reach out as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's something
Absolutely.
like man's persona, isn't it? Don't want to see like fail, and don't want to look weak. And men
Yeah.
still have mental health, and we all struggle.
Yeah. Our mental health is important. Men's mental health is important. We're just,
Mhm.
told to get on with stuff really and
Yeah,
not really deal with the emotions that you're going through or the feelings that
yeah.
you have inside or whatever, like you said, like, there's traumatic events that happen in your life that sometimes take years and years to process. And sometimes they never get resolved because you don't know how to
Mm.
process it all really.
No, not at all.
So, um, so no, I just completely blanked it. My head just went blank there. I was just gonna ask about I hate when that happens. Um, so you're doing the TikTok thing.
Yeah.
Um, you got a lot of engagement going on there. You got like pretty good group of followers and things like that that you
Yeah, so
interact with.
yeah, so I've got over 1,000 followers. I try to post regular content, like daily content, and
Yeah.
I try and do a live, and I'm trying to now. I'm going to start kind of getting people on to share their experience, strength, and hope.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of a bit like this as well. But it's all
Yeah.
it's just all like helps other people as well, you know. And I find that there is a massive recovery following on TikTok, you know. So
Yeah.
the more people we can get on board, and the more people that we can like spread the message of recovery, you know, the better.
Well, I know what I wanted to ask. What do you feel like the UK lacks in treatment for addiction? Uh, do you feel like it doesn't do enough for people that are struggling with addiction and mental health and all that kind of stuff? Because yeah, I have a different view
Um,
because I'm from America and I see a different system and I see
yeah, I
different stuff.
don't. With I don't. There, the thing with addiction, and I know a lot of people from meeting people in recovery, when people have sought help through like their doctor or
Yeah,
gone to the hospital, they're just given medication, and then but you're giving that to an addict, right? So it doesn't matter what drug they take, they just
yeah,
become addicted to it. So you're not actually curing the problem. You're just replacing one thing for another, or just doubling up what they're using anyway. And
yeah.
you know, a good friend of mine, he's had to come off a huge detox, like horrific. They've he was a heroin addict. He took anything and anything, and he'd do it. And he went to the GP. They gave him Valium. They gave him pregabalins. They've given him OxyContins. They've given him like
What?
stacks and stacks and stacks of prescriptive medication.
Why would they
Well,
give him oxy if he was a heroin addict? He's just gonna get addicted to oxy.
yeah, diazepams, and like it's just replacing that one thing with another. And he's had to do a huge detox, and he's actually now got a date for detox, and he's got to be supervised off on his last on Subutex. So um, yeah, it's just there is definitely not enough help, but
I
once
just
you
feel like
find
you're
recovery, I feel like
yeah.
there is enough in
I just
doing meetings with the AA, CA, NA. You
yeah.
know, there's help that way, but through the health system, no.
Right. Yeah, well, I've just like because I've seen like other like TikTokers and other people like being like, like people go in and ask for help and they just be like, "Well, when was the last time you used?" And they're like, "Oh, I got like 5 days clean." And they're like, "Well, it would be better if you would go and use and then come back." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you'd have a better chance of getting services if you
Yeah,
used
you're
recently.
actually using.
Like, how the fuck is that helping people in recovery? Like, to
It's just
tell them that
encouraging to
they're better
use.
off that if you go use and then
Oh,
come
I've got
back,
five
we
days
could maybe
clean.
help you.
Yeah, it's just crazy, you know. It's like you say that I've got 5 days clean, but my doctor told me to go out and use again, so I had a big user, you know. Like,
Yeah,
but what,
that's
like,
crazy.
um, the problem is, I think a lot of it's like overdoses as well. You know, that can people go in and they say like that happens. People go out there and tell you to use again, and they go over and OD. You know, like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Or what
It's absolutely
but you're going in to ask for help because you've gotten a couple days sober, right? And you wanna keep being
keep
sober,
going.
and then the person at the desk tells you to go out and fucking use?
Yeah,
That's
you know,
crazy. That is absolutely insane.
yeah. I had a friend, and he went into a service and asked for like the methadone,
Yeah.
and they said, "When was the last time you used heroin?" And he was like, "3 days ago." And they were like, "Well, you haven't got it in your system now." He was like, "Well, I definitely will because I use it all the time." And they were like, "But he's like, I got 3 days clean." And they were like, "Well, we can't give you methadone if you haven't taken it in the last 3 days." And I was like, "What?"
W so basically go out and show up on heroin, and then they'll give you the methadone.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
message they're sending. How is that
Yeah,
helpful? How is that
it's
helpful?
that.
Because the next time he does heroin, he could die.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and he was there asking for help with 3 days sober,
Mhm.
so
It's
that's
terrible.
crazy.
It's shocking,
That's crazy.
but
Um,
there you go.
and also, do you feel like like your view on a recovery community? Um, is that why you've gone to like online stuff? Because you feel like there's more community there than there is like where you're
Um,
located?
yeah, there is quite a big recovery. Like I'm just outside of Brighton, um, so Brighton being a city, it's there is a lot of recovery there. But I find TikTok helps me more than
Really?
doing. Yeah, really helps me, and I love it. Like it's just bizarre. Like, and I think it's more of a kind, maybe a comfort thing. I can do it all from my own sofa. um, and but also it is engaging with a lot of people, so it's not like I'm isolating and doing it. I'm
Yeah.
actually doing live. I'm doing talking to other people. I'm helping people. I'm on the phone. So yeah, it's like don't get. I do still go to 2 meetings a week, and they're my
Mm.
regular home meetings. And I've been to there every week since I come into recovery. So um, I wouldn't never drop them out. But some say I could up my meetings, but I do my 2 home groups, and I do this as well. And you know what, my recovery life's great. And
Yeah, and you
I
have to
just
do what
like,
works for you. I mean, people can say
exactly,
what they want about like whatever, but if it's working for you right now, just do what works for you. I mean, that's the key. If it's
exactly.
working, I mean, if it gets
You
to
know,
be like if you have more bad days than good days, then maybe think about something else. But if
yeah,
you're doing well and things are going well, then yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
exactly.
Um, do you have any advice for people who are looking to get sober or that have just have a couple days in sobriety? Is there
Um,
any advice you would
so,
give somebody?
so keep smashing it if you're early days in recovery, or if you're struggling to stop using. Um, break it down. Don't give yourself too like unrealistic goals. Do it one day at a time, and also like you can't if you can't stop using. Get yourself to a meeting or reach out to people or go social media. There's a lot of recovery on there. And sorry, mate. Uh, God, I've completely gone off my trail of thought then.
Mhm.
Um, where's it going? Struggling. Um, so yeah, I just kind of reach out, stay connected at all times. Don't isolate. Don't keep yourself to yourself. There's people out here that can help you, and just keep it in the day. It's all we have to do is wake up one morning and get our head down that pillow clean, and you could whatever it takes to get to a meeting. Got AA, CA, NA. Over here we've got the recovery journey, and which is it's different. It's not not a 12-step program,
Mhm.
but recovery it works, saves lives, and yeah, if anyone's kind of got any information regarding 12-step fellowship, it's what I do, and I would fully recommend it to anyone. Um, so yeah,
You said you live outside of Brighton. Whereabouts outside of Brighton do you live?
Shoreham,
We Where is it? Shoreham.
Shoreham.
Yeah, Shoreham. I'm from Crawley, so I live in Crawley. So we're not too far from each other.
No, well, because Crawley is where I've done all my using.
Well, that makes sense.
That is mad. Now I've
That's
got a 10-year ban from Crawley. That's
yeah.
why I
Yeah.
got a court order, 10-year ban.
You're banned
Yeah,
from Crawley, you can't ever come here?
I can't go back to Crawley. My parents live in Horsham, so
Oh
that's the only way.
my yeah. That's as
Yeah,
close as you're
so
getting.
yeah, literally. So yeah, you lived in Crawley for 8 years and had a good use up round there and robbed a lot of people and
Oh
robbed for a lot of
man.
shops and yeah, so that's why I'm not allowed back there for 10 years. But not a
Oh,
bad thing
okay.
really.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, probably being away from there has given you a lot of chance to
Definitely. Doing it to
grow and
that's
expand.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. But also the
Yeah.
only I kind of engage with a lot of people back there and try and get them into recovery now. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
Um,
Small world.
nice. What are your plans for the future with your recovery? Do you have any plans? Do you have anything that you
I
aim to achieve?
like so I want to kind of go back into football coaching and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna start taking my football badges, but I'm just started my boy. He's 4, he's just started football, so trying to get him into it now and take him on his journey like my dad did with me. Um, Going on holidays, doing all the things. Like I haven't got massive goals, but I just want to have like a nice life, easy
Yeah.
life. I also want to go back into the service. I want to give back. So I want to go back into working in maybe, whether I don't know if you know CGL. You've heard of that over here?
CGL. That does sound familiar.
Yeah, Change, Grow, Live it's called. And
Yes, I applied for jobs there when I
yeah,
moved over here. Yeah.
so yeah, I'll kind of want to kind of feedback, go back in there, do a bit of work. I've done a bit of voluntary work already.
Yeah.
So I want to do like a peer mentoring program and yeah, kind of maybe like key work some people and but yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I want to do. I want to kind of go give back now.
Yeah. That's awesome. Um, so before we close out the show, I like to ask my guest, what are three things that you need in your recovery? So, it could be journaling, running, yoga, just
Hmm.
whatever. What are three things that are like your top three things? You need it. You wake up, you need it. You have to have it.
Right. Um, so I need to have my program that I have to work on a daily basis. Um,
Yeah, it's one,
my, my meditation,
two.
and I'm going to say nature
All right.
because
That's a good
I get
one.
out a lot. I like to get out, and being outside is, fresh air does me the world of good. And I like to get out for a walk every day, work my walk, run. So yeah, and it really helps. Change man.
That's nice. It's awesome. Nature's not one that I've had before. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good one to be outside the fresh air. Yeah,
yeah.
that is a good
And
one.
definitely down here on the coast, it's nice and sea breeze.
Oh man, I bet. Yeah. No, I always like going down to the seaside. It's always a
Yeah,
nice time.
yeah, no,
Refreshing.
nice.
Well, I mean, except when it's raining and windy. I know I've been in
Mhm.
Brighton a couple times and it's been miserable. But
Yeah, when it's raining, it is proper miserable.
yeah. Well, Sam, honestly, man, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you very much.
Um, if you have any social media, anything that you'd like to shout out, you can shout it out, and let everybody
Yeah,
know where
so
they can
yeah,
find you.
I'm on TikTok, Sounds Recovery Journey. Give me a follow, give me a like. If anyone's struggling, um, don't hesitate, reach out, and I'll always get back to you. My inbox is always open. And if anyone wants any help with any recovery, anything to do with recovery or any fellowship, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you and signpost you in the right direction.
Nice. All right, Sam. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And yeah, man, congrats on your journey and your sobriety. And just keep smashing it. Keep doing the TikToks. Let people know that recovery is great.
Yes, that's it. Take care. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah,
Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Oh no, oh no. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, yeah. We ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Oh no, oh no. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Yeah, like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Oh no, oh no. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Yeah, like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away. We ain't never gonna fade away. Oh no, oh no. Me and my boys going crazy in 23. Like MJ, but we ain't never gonna fade away.